Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Here I am with another little video, this time using Graphic 45's Grow With Love. We're having a fantastic spring here in the UK. It's sunny constantly, which is unlike us, and everything's really growing. The flowers are looking beautiful, all the nature, everything looks brilliant in the sunlight. So this is my little homage to that, where all the flowers are, and it's a tiny little album, but you can actually fit quite a lot in it. I'm going to go through it more at the end, but the whole idea is that all your pages peek through on the next page so you can see a little glimpse of what's blooming on the next page. And each of these pages has also got its own little file folder for pictures and journaling, that you can tuck all your spring and even summer memories in here, add little notes and make a really beautiful floral gardening journal of your springtime. The papers are lovely, plenty of images on here, so I'll go through it all at the end, but for now I'll show you how to get started and how to make this very simple little mini album. Okay, so first up, this is how you make your little pages. So this is your page, just like this, and this is a pocket in here. I've got my bits and pieces in there on this one, but that's what you're after, this pocket piece in the end, which is flat on the back there. It's got a pocket here. That's where you're going to do your spine, and this is where you're going to decorate. So you just need, if I get the piece of paper, one 6x6 inch piece of paper, and you want to score it at 3 inches across the middle, and then at 1/2 inch and at 4 3/4 only on the top side. Now this idea isn't my own. I got it from the fantastic Michelle at Pink Strawberries. She scored all the way down hers. I've just altered mine slightly just to tweak it for myself. So the first score line on your 6x6 is at 3, and that will give you this middle piece here. So I've scored along here, now that you can see it there, that's better, 3. Now whatever side you want on your front of your pocket, you need to be face up to you now, and you need to score at 1/2 inch and 4 3/4 on this top edge, meeting at that 3 inch line. So 4 3/4 just there. And now all you need to do is cut up to those lines on both sides. So if I just do that now, if I get my scoreboard out of the way. So all I'm going to do, if I flip it over, you could be able to see it a bit better. I'm going to cut to there. I'm going to turn it round and I'm going to cut on this side to that panel. And then I'm going to fold it in half, like so. This little piece, 1/2 inch, will go in. So I'm just going to make a little notch now. I'm going to trim that out just so that when we stick it down, it makes it easier to stick down. So that will make our corner piece, like so. Oops. Like that. And this one I'm going to trim down again to just be 1/2 inch, but I'm just going to do it by eye. Just trim that piece off there, and again I'm just going to notch those out because this will make a little pocket then. Let's just get those aside, fold that over, and at this point, if there's any, see there where I am a little bit longer, I'm just going to trim that up. That's my paper cutting, obviously. Make that level, and I'm just going to add glue to both of these parts here. Just make sure you've got them well stuck down, and this is going to make your pocket then. Let's flip that over. This piece here, just trim that there. This 1/2 inch part is where you're going to bind them. And all I'm going to do here is I corner rounded mine, just because I thought it looked quite nice corner rounded. So what have we got here? Let's do the 1/2 inch piece. Like so, and then that gives you your pocket. So all you need to do is I've done 4 of these, and that makes your little album pocket edges, just like so. Now, while we're still on that part, in each little pocket, I also added a little file folder that I made myself. I cut up the journal cards, and my first thought was I was going to put tabs on, which is why I've cut them down. But I decided instead to have this little journal card and pop it in a file folder, because I could put all my little pictures or whatever I wanted to inside there. And I've used, this is the white piece that goes along the top of the papers. I've used that just to cut a little tab out of. But to make this, all you then need is a piece of paper, one of your pattern papers. I've used the Patterns and Solids, which measures 5.5 length by 4 inches wide. So it's 5.5 from this edge, 5.5 by 4 inches wide. And when I've turned it with the tab piece I want for my tabs at the side, I've scored at 2.5 inches. That gives me my file folder shape. So this is one I've got here. Decide which way around you want that, but there we go. I'm going to fold mine up like so. Just going to round my corners. I quite like the corners rounded. And then you literally cut your tab out on this top part and trim away the rest. And that's how you get this piece. So you have it wherever you want it and cut your tab. And that gives you your little file folder. And once you've got your file folder, you can pop your journal card inside and then add it inside your little pocket, and that will fit perfectly. Hide away, but your little tab will show. So I'm going to come back to you in a second and start decorating. Okay, so I'm back and ready to start decorating. I've got my 4 little folders, and I've just punched 2 holes in this far side so I can add some ribbon through afterwards. I've got each one has got a little file folder inside and a journal card. And I've roughly staggered those tabs at the top of each one. And that's what I've got so far. You need to have a little bit of a jiggle around there, but that's what I've got. Okay, so the pink's going to be my front cover. So I'm going to add some little bits of decoration now. So here's my first one, and I'm just going to add the sentiment border strip to the bottom piece, and I'm only going to decorate the pocket part of each one. I'm not going to put the border strip all the way along, that way I'll just know that that's where I want to put them. And I want to add this Thrive, Flourish, Grow piece on here, but I think I can, this is the second part, but it's not long enough, so I'm going to trim this in half, and I'm going to use the other side so that I can add a little bit of purple up this top part and a little purple border. I'm going to pop that on like so, and this one on here, and hope that I can cover up that little area in between there. That's my top part. I'm going to have this one going on there, but I'm going to pop this on some foam pads, I think. So I've only got some little ones here. Let me just see if I've got some bigger foam pads. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to pop those on here. They're very super sticky now, so that's going to make my top main panel. If I can get these off now, just take these papers off. Never come off when you want them to, do they? Right, okay, so I'm going to cover up that little top area just slightly there so you can't see. That's great. Now the idea with these is to have something at each end that overlaps this end. So you want to make your first one the biggest overlapping, so that all the rest of the things hide behind it. So I'm going to pop mine on just like so, I think. Just like so. So if I just pop some glue on there, we can start to see where we're at. We just want to have a little bit of overlapping. This is what makes the interest. Like that. And then I think I'll have this one, but I'll pop him on a little foam pad like that. Now you can ink the edges, but I'm just going for the little fresh look on this, so I'm not doing any vintage inking. Just going to go with the papers as they are. So that's going to make my first corner piece that's going to stick out, and you'll see how this comes together shortly. I'm going to add a little bit more to there. I think I'm going to add possibly this little flower pot as well. So I'll pop that aside for now, and then we're going to move on to my next piece. So here's my next one. I'm going to decide what I want on my front here. Now I think I'm going to go with this from the sticker sheet. So this is the Grow with Love sticker sheet, and I think I'm going to go with this on, and perhaps even the wellies, because those two go. I'm going to have them sticking over the edge, but because this is sticky, so here is my top tip on this. Just use a little bit of talcum powder on your finger and add it to the back, and your sticker will no longer be sticky. So that's stuck on like that. Get your talc off everywhere else, and now you can place that on. You don't need to, I could have left some of it sticky there, but I'm just going to use my glue. I'm going to have that peeking out, and I'm just going to use this to just see that it just hides it. Don't want it totally hidden, because that's the whole point of it. And then I've got my little wellies, which I'm going to stick here. I'm going to pop them over the top like that. So that's my second one. Now I've forgotten to pop on my little border strip, so I'm going to stick this border strip on this one. Get my border strip there, because that goes with that. Just see where we're up to with there. So it's approximately there. I'm going to stick some glue on that one. Pop that one on. Let's just see if we can get those wellies up a minute. There we go. There is that piece. There's that for now. Okay, that's my second piece hidden. We'll come back and add some more in a second. So then I'm on to my third one. So I need something else to hide underneath here now. So I can either go with more off the sheet, which I do quite like that. I like the yellows together on that one. What else can we add on there? I've also got this that I've cut out from the paper, so I think I'm going to use that. So I'm going to use my talcum powder trick again around the top here, just for any areas that stick out, and then I'm going to stick that here, I think, making sure that that just comes over the edge, but not too far. There we go. This time I'm going to get my border on a bit quicker. What we're going to use for this one. Add a bit of colour in there, so let's have this one on. What have we got there? Springtime in the Garden. So I'm going to pop that one on. Oh, or is that a bit too busy with... Where's my little... I'm going to put that on there, aren't I? A bit too busy. Let's see where we're at with this one. Might just use a bit of green on this one. Yeah, just a bit of green on there, that will do it. So let's make sure we've got this the right way. Springtime in the Garden. Trimming it round about there, I think the U. pop our border on that bottom piece. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to pop this here, I think, and it can come going over the edge as well. But I'm just going to glue that all down. Pop some glue on there. Make sure I've got glue on that part. Just like so. It gives me a little busy edge there. That's that one. So I'm just going to pop that there. You can see how it's all building up. And then I've got my final edge here. So let's pop a bit of colour down here. And what do I want for this edge? I've got this larger one here. I think I'm going to go for that. Can I fit any more Wellingtons on? Yeah, I think I could go with that. That would do it. Or do I like that? Bear with me a second. Decisions. And do I like a butterfly on that one? I think I like the welly stick. Oh, here we go. Some flowers. I think I prefer that. That's good. We'll go with that. Okay, so I'm going to go on this top edge with this. A little bit more of talc around that top area. Just add a bit more glue there. So that's going to stick out just like that. And this one, which only needs a bit of talc on this side edge, mop up my talc there, can go down at the bottom. Put a bit more glue there, and that one is going to go just like so, I think. Let's get it on. Yep, like so. Make sure we've not got that sticky there at the bottom, any of our overlay bits. And the good part about using the stickers is that they're all white on the backs. Pop a little bit more glue on there, so it doesn't like that edge, I don't think. Pop a bit of glue on. Got glue on now. Okay, too much glue on now. Right, I just need a little bit of a border along this one. What we're going to use. I am going to use that, I think, and I'm going to add this tiny little, no, I'm not. Have we got any small pieces? Not at the moment. So, simple thing there is to pop that one on. There we go, that will do. That works nicely. Add some glue to the border. Pop that one on. And just to make that one nicely finished here, overlap this part here with my little hyacinth, I think it is. I think it's hyacinth. Pop that there on the butterfly there. And that's great. You can just hear that. Sorry, the husband's starting up the motorbike outside now. Okay, so there is that one. So what I'm going to do now, you can see how they're all hidden. I'm going to decorate a little bit more and I'll come back to you in a second. Okay, so I'm back with my finished little album, and the whole idea of this is that you can see the next layer peeking behind the next page. So when they all stack up together like that, you can get little glimpses through the edge of what you can see behind. So I've tied mine through those two holes we made with a little bit of ribbon, but I haven't tied it tightly. I've just giving it a little bit of slack so that you can move your pages. So if you remember that first page, we added the stamps on, and that's what you want to do on your first page, really. Make it the biggest decoration so that it covers most of what's coming underneath. I added another little flower pot cut out behind this little sentiment here. Added one of the sticker butterflies and a little pot there, and my borders, as you saw. Then on each of the second pages, I've made it so with these little cutter parts from the 8x8 sheet, I can slot them either into here or into here, or you can use a pictures you can slot behind there. You can cut some of these out yourself and just have some panels tucked in there or longer, and you can add your little 3x2 or 2x2 pictures in here as well, and everything will just tuck inside. Again, you can pop another picture here if you wish. That one will fit on there, and all these make great little mats for adding pictures in, or just some little writing, or just sentiments. That was our next page. Just added a little sentiment here, love grows here. And on these second pages, I've made them all so that this and the little border is not stuck down. So I just stuck two edges so that I could slot things underneath like that, and it's all about peeking out on from behind. Again, these little hollyhocks are cut out, but I didn't stick them down fully, again with that little border strip there. So that's that page. This one, again, there's room on here for your little picture to add in. We've got our daffodils and little garden scene there. This is why you don't want your ribbon to be closed too tight either. Again, room here to tuck in and tuck underneath here. And again, you can slot a small picture in here, and I've made it so that you can tuck it up underneath that little panel. And the final back edge is the same again, with room to tuck your elements in. Then, remembering you've got space as well here, in each one of these little compartments, you have got your little file folder, which I've decorated each one. Again, leaving room there to tuck something behind. And there's room inside to stick some pictures, and also on your journaling card to write a few notes about those. So that's that one. I added on this second purpley one, I added in here just a little flower pot on that one. And I varied up the colours in this one, so I didn't do the purples with the purples, but you can do if you want to. Just add that in the right. It's hard to do it with the camera in front of your face there. Just slide that one in. This one I added a little garden scene because I've got a plain background you can tuck in behind there. That is that one. And finally, let me just pop that one back in. Finally, in this green compartment, I just had some little stamps on this one. Plenty of room for journaling here. Adding a few notes. Really pretty. Adding your photographs. And even labelling up your tabs if you want to. You don't have to do the tabs. You can just put little folders or your photographs inside there. But they're just peeking out ever so slightly in each one, so that there is room. Just pull that one up a touch more. And there we have it. That is our little Thrive and Flourish and Grow little album, and it's all growing like spring flowers do all out of the side of the album. So I hope you enjoyed that one. It's really easy to make, and if you make one too, I'd really love to see how yours turns out, because you really can't go wrong, and they look so pretty. I just used the sticker sheet and cut elements from the paper, but you can just use cut elements from the paper. Just use one little pad if you want to. Those were the sticker sheets, the stickers that I used from that sticker sheet. So I hope you enjoyed that one. Please give me a thumbs up and a like if you like the video, and and subscribe too if you can, and I shall see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.